Hello. Today we are going to see how to design a simple visiting card. Graphics designing is not that much complex. It's so simple. I'll tell you how to design a simple visiting card today. For that, what we'll do is we'll take a new file, and the standard visiting card size 8.5 by 5.5 centimeters we'll give, and we'll create a file. Now, I'm planning to make a visiting card for computer service center. Okay. So to start with, I need to create a logo. So I'm planning for a simple logo. For that, what I'll do is I'll take a round rectangle tool, and I'll create something like this, a round rectangle. I'll adjust the corners. Control C, Control Shift V. Control Shift V, paste in place. That means that copied thing will be pasted just above the same object. So if I'm pressing Ctrl V, it will be pasted somewhere. I have to move it and adjust it. But if I'm copying something and Ctrl Shift V, paste in place, it will be pasted exactly above the original object. Read it till here. Now what we can do is, I need to subtract this from the bigger one. So I'm just giving a color to both of them. Say any color. Now I need to subtract the inner one from the outer one. I'll use my Windows Pathfinder and subtract option. So that is subtract. Now the next thing is I'm trying to create a computer like computer logo. So what next is, I need my ruler tool. Control R for ruler. Now I'll drag a guideline and place it in the exact center of this monitor, line out of the monitor which I created, and then I'll go for my rectangle tool and create a rectangle like this. Now once this thing is created, we'll give this also a color to identify, and next step is I'll alt and drag this one a little downwards. I'll make it smaller and touch it to the bigger shape and extend its length. This is for the stand of the monitor. Now I'll take my direct selection tool, select on one corner point and shift left. Again select on the opposite corner point, shift right. Okay, now we can move this thing and adjust. Okay, so this is the basic shape of my computer which I am creating. Now I'll select the whole thing and attach. So the whole thing will get attached and make itself into a single shape. Now after this, what we will do is, we are planning to make a computer service center logo, and I'll name my company. I'll take my type tool and click here and name my company Computer Hospital. Okay. Computer Hospital, that is the name of our firm. Now we don't want this much size, and we'll place it in the center middle. Okay, nice. Now to give the feel of a hospital, what I'll do is I'll take a circle like this, and I'll use my rectangle tool to draw a rectangle like this. Again I'll press Alt and drag it, holding Shift, just rotate it so that it will come exactly in 90 degrees, and then I'll place it in the center of the other one. For me, I always switch on my smart guides so that it will show me where my center is, where I am placing an object. So it's a helpful thing. That's why I'm using smart guides. Now select both of them and attach or unite. They'll be changing into a single object. We'll place it in the center of this one, and then we'll select both of them and subtract. Okay, got my logo. I'll place this here, and for a better feel, what we can do is we'll take a pen tool. We'll start from here, like the heart symbol, in hospitals. Okay, once we are finished with this thing, what we can do is we can take our direct selection tool and adjust this like to the edges and make it properly like we want. We will change the fill to stroke so that you will be able to understand how it is looking. I feel this is a little bit straight, so I don't want it to be straight. I want the whole lines to be like this. Now the next step we do is this is now coming as a stroke or an outline. I want to convert it into a fill object. So what I'll do first is I'll select this object and increase the stroke to 2 points. Yeah, better. Now we'll go to object, expand. Okay, now this is a fill. See, it is a fill object. It is having a stroke. So in object expand, you can convert a stroke into a fill. I'll reduce the size of this thing and make these 2 points connect to our shape. Now this is making a problem for me. I'll take a copy of this thing and I'll take my direct selection tool, and the shape which I cut now, I'll select one of the anchor points and one time delete, again delete, the whole thing will go. I'll make the size of this one a little bit bigger compared to this shape, and I'll place it in the center again. And this time I want to subtract from this, so this and the bigger shape selected, subtract. So I'll get a gap for my shape. My bottom is also going, so we have to avoid that. Let's expand this thing and ungroup. So now this is separate and this is separate. Now select this, subtract. Now we'll select these two and unite. So they are united again. So we did this much, and my company's name I'll place in some other place, and I want it to be in the center. So if I go to Windows and type, I have paragraph options. I can go to paragraph options and make it to center. So the text will be center aligned. I center align the text. Basically this is what is going to be my logo. Okay, and text, once you are finished with all the editing, create the outlines. So that text will be converted into an object. Why we are converting text into an object means, when we may not be taking printout from the machine which we are, or the computer in which we are working. We may be taking the output from a different machine which is in the print shop. So at that time, if this font is the particular font which I am using here is Mirror Pro, say if Mirror Pro is not in that machine, then it will show font missing, and then our work will be totally gone waste. So once you are finished with adjusting the font, kindly go to create outlines and click on that, so that font, the text is converted into a shape object in the software. Now we will select the entire thing and Ctrl G to group, and we will place it like in the side. Now to design the visiting card, what we can do is, so we are going to make the visiting cards of a sales representative of our company, and for the basic design I will give a box. As I told, it is 8.5 by 5.5 in centimeters, so I will give it this shape. Now again I will copy this box, Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V, and I will reduce the size. Before that I will make sure that my guide is in the center. Okay, now I will reduce this into half, and I will give a contrast color. Say this color is nice. I will select this shape, add anchor point tool, add an anchor point, and move it like this. So this is going to be the shape of my visiting card. Okay, now this much is done. What we can do is, we can create a shape to hold our logo. So I'll take an ellipse, I'll create an ellipse. This is the place where our logo is going to come, and I'll change the color of this thing and this thing to say a lighter shade of black. No, I need more darker, so I'll go to the color options and not black exactly. To identify these two shades, we have to identify these two shapes from each other. So I'll select this thing, Control C, Control Shift V, pasted it exactly about that, made it a little bit bigger and made it full black, and right click, arrange, send backward, so that one step this will go behind the original shape. Next on this thing, we need to give a corner like this. Now I'll select the outer one and move it 2 or 3 pixels, so that it will differentiate between these two shapes, that they are both different shapes. Now I'll select this one because I have to give a difference from this to this. For that, what we'll do is again Control C, Control Shift V, and give the same black to this thing, move it 2 steps like this. Now I'll right click, arrange, send to back, so it will go behind everything. Now I'll send this thing behind every other object, so I'll get a border like this. Now as we have done this much, now we'll place our logo. So before placing our logo, we'll select the entire logo and give it this color, so that it will be easily identifiable. Place our logo, right click, arrange, bring to front. Don't let the selection go. In the selection only, make it like this. Okay, so make it like this. Now for the next point, what we will do is we can hold shift and rotate it so that it will come in a straight line. Now we will place exactly at the position we want. We will change the color so that it's identifiable, and the size of the font for the visiting card. In normal newspapers, the font which you see will be like the value will be from 8 point to 12 point. So you need to have a calculation on that. In the newspapers we see, and the font size is from 8 to 12 points. So while designing a visiting card, you can give 10, and if you want to emphasize, you can give more, but more bigger the text becomes, the pleasant look of, or the look and feel of that design will be good. Okay, so please keep that in mind. We gave it like this. Now the next thing is we need to create the other side. For that, what I'll do is, I have an artboard tool. This is my artboard tool. I'll alt and drag the whole artboard and copy it. Now I have a copy of the artboard. For this part, I don't need this one, this one, this one. I'll select these two shapes and rotate them to 90 degree and place it here, so that when I'm printing, this side will exactly come behind this side. You understood me, I hope. Now I want the text to be left aligned, so I'll again go to Windows, type, I'll go for paragraph, left alignment, black is okay, and font, give some informative font in the sense like say Times New Roman. It's an informative font, so Times New Roman, there they go, and it's stylish also. Okay, and the details of the company, say the location. So location we have to create, and we'll type tool again, location, alt and drag, website, mail, ID. Okay, these are the things which we have to give now. Now I'll select all four of them, and size I'll reduce a little bit, and in between value is, of these things are a little bit different. So what we can do is, till where we want this, like the in between values of these things are different. So what we can do is, to uniformize them, we'll select all of them and we'll go to align palette, Windows, align, go to your distribute and distribute equally, so to this, into the center, so they will be distributed equal. Now we'll place this in white. So the location of the company, phone and mail ID and website, these things must come here. And again, the total distance between these two will be distributed between the four. That is how it's like. If I'm creating the last one here, then I'm selecting them, I'm giving distribute, then this much, in this much distance they will be distributed. But if I reduce the distance of each of the objects, then again in that distance only they will be distributed, like 1, 2, 3 and 4, and if we distribute, they will be distributed like this. Okay, now we place these things like this, and here the location will be typed, here the phone number will be typed, and mail ID will be typed, and website will be typed. But if we can give icons related to that thing, then it will be looking more appealing. So there are a few icons which Illustrator provides you. Now what we can do is, we can go to our symbols palette, and then we'll click here, open symbol library. So there are a lot of symbols available. Web icons, I'll take web icons. So the web icons will come. Now from here I can choose, if the symbol is there. For say phone, I can choose this one, this symbol, and email, website, I can use this one, email, I can use this one. A location, I'm not finding an appropriate one, so location by symbol we will create. What we can do is, we will select circle and we will draw it like this. Okay, now I will take my anchor point tool and click on this point, so it will become sharp. Now take your direct selection tool, just drag it like this. Okay, again take circle from the center of this thing, draw another circle like this, select both of them, pathfinder, subtract. So location, I'll place this one, so this much height I am giving for one symbol, and the next one is phone. The phone will take, and first when we are bringing a symbol, what we have to do is, we used a symbol from the symbols palette, so go to object and expand it. Now give it the color we want. Now we can color it, otherwise we won't be able to define its color. Now I'll give a color white, I'll reduce the size, I'll check if both of them are coming in the same size. I'll check if both of them are coming in same size. Okay, again I'll take a new line and I'll place exactly below this one. So I'll be able to see if it is coming below or not, because my smart guides are on. Okay, now mail ID, take my mail icon, object, expand appearance, expand, and then we'll give it the color we want. We can take a color picker and pick from some place also. Next one. Okay, so both the sides for our like card is finished. Now what we can do is we can send it for printing. So before sending it for printing, as I told you, select all the text. First drag and select everything. Now type create outlines. So every text will be converted into shape objects. Now once everything is converted into shape objects, select all of them and group them. Control G. This also Control G. File. I'm taking a new file for setting the print sheet. Normally the print sheet will be in A3 size, so we'll go for print and we'll give A3. So I have an A3 sheet. I want to make it a landscape. Now it is in portrait. I want to make it landscape. I'll select my artboard tool so that I have portrait landscape option here. If I click on this, it will be a portrait. If I click on this, it will be a landscape. Now I am getting a landscape right now. What I can do is I'll drag this thing, place it over here. So one design is placed. Now I need multiple copies of this thing. When I'm printing, I'll be taking multiple copies of this thing, right? Control R for ruler. I'll drag, place a line here. What I'll do is alt and drag like this. Before doing that, fact and crop marks. So crop marks will be created. The use of crop marks is that once you are setting the crop marks, it is easy for the cutting shop guy or the print shop guy to cut this thing. There will be marks or guides to cut. Now I'll copy this thing and place it somewhere here. Again, crop marks are there. Control D, Control D. So I have 4. Included 4 in one sheet. Now again I'll select these things, alt and drag down, Control D, Control D. So totally I got 16 pieces of this particular design. Now I'll select the whole thing and I need to centralize this thing. So I'll click here, alignment options, or I'll come to my align box and then align to artboard. Okay, align to artboard is on. Now at this moment what we will do is we selected all of them, Control G to group them and then align them to the center of the paper. Now I'll tell you something. If I'm not grouping them, now they are all grouped. If I'm not grouping them, what happens we will see. If I'm not grouping them and trying to align them, I haven't grouped them, they will all come to a center point. That is why I told you first before grouping, first before aligning, just group them, select all of them and Control G to group. Now center, center. Okay, now this has been set. One side of our print paper is set. Now there is another side where the other side of my logo, other part of my logo must, my visiting card must come. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll copy this thing. Then I'll come here and I have to take this part now. I'll take this part, I'll place it here. Exactly above this thing, we'll place. Once we place it, it must be exactly above that thing, because otherwise in the print it will be wrong. Once we place this thing, everything is perfect. Now select the whole thing and object and group. So each one of them are now a separate group. Now select these guys, windows, effects and crop marks. So they will be having the crop marks for the cut, and it will be easy for the print shop guy to cut this and separate them. Now you can easily send this for printing. Save the Illustrator file and send it for printing. You will get 16 visiting cards, and the size will be different in different places and different according to the artist. So if you want a different size, you can use the size specification which is given by your client. Thank you. By the way, I just want to tell you something. I am trying to upload a new content every day. So if you want to learn multimedia, you can subscribe to my channel and kindly click the bell icon so that you will be noticed whenever I am posting a new tutorial.